Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in the series between Life versus MMA here on Neoplanet SLE. Life spawning as the red Zerg on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we see MMA spawning as the blue Terran on the top right, bottom left. Don't know what I said earlier. As game 1 was really a massive macro fest and a yin and yang constant battle. However, Life showing why infestors are so good. It is my theory and my belief that infestors and any energy-based unit, alongside broodlords, and even swarm hosts, are basically units that get better with time. The reason why I say that is SCVs, Marines, Marauders, Thors, all of those units are good in of themselves, but once you have the unit already in play, it's not like they get any better. However, an infestor who uses fungal growth constantly, who uses infested Terran constantly, will always get those resources back, and those resources can do damage while not endangering the infestor 9 times out of 10. That's what really won the game here, as we are now looking at Life, who is opening up with, I believe, a 10 pool, and Life is going to be extremely aggressive with all of these units. However, MMA looks like he is going to be going for a command center first. This could be very, very bad for him. No, command center first. There it is. He is not building it on the low ground, and he should, in fact, be able to place down a barracks right there, finish off the wall in, and be in a very good situation. The Zerglings are not going to be able to do very much of anything. You can see, looking at the production tab, Zerglings are on their way out. Harvester count is 15 to 12, and every pair of Zerglings that Life trains is a drone that could have been. Very, very important to note that. As we are looking here, you can see that Life looks, he doesn't see a command center. He needs to figure out what's going on. Is his opponent going command center first? Yes, he will spot this in just a second. There's the command center. Overlord is there. MMA now spots the Overlord. And what's going to be happening next? These SCVs are very, very vulnerable while constructing these buildings, and it looks like, the barracks are going to be taking a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, we could bring in some SCVs as well. Supply depot now taking some damage, and no units being brought over just quite yet. This is a very, very sad situation. MMA needs to repair this supply depot. He should be fine if he starts repairing it, but he has yet to do that just quite yet. Oh my goodness, it is down to 70, 60, 40, 30, 50 hit points, and he gets it just in time. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. He's cutting it rather close there, but all of that at the same time, MMA is now training up his Marines. There's an SCV down over here. Marine will be popping out and then doing a little bit of target practice. It looks like the Zergling will get taken down as well. Not going to be very good news, as one Zergling does fall and more Marines still being added, and it is just going to force Life to pull back. A little bit of lost resources there. One SCV was taken down, but that's pretty much it. All right, looking very strong. A factory already being added. Now, what happened after that very, very early 10 pool? You can see that there was a 17 drone to 20 SCV disadvantage. Add in the fact that the orbital command has brought in an extra mule, and MMA should have a very large economic advantage. Yes, he does. You can see it at almost 900 resources a minute with those additional mules. Meanwhile, the hatchery is in play. Drones just now being transferred over, as the Zerglings will be trying to delay this orbital command, but the Zerglings know that they cannot really delay this very much, as the bunker will be going down. 24 SCVs versus 20 drones. Hellions will be making their way out as well. Reactor being built on the factory itself, as we do have a squadron of Marines here. The Marines, going to try to do a little bit of starter step. This could be bad news here. Are the Marines going to be able to get back up in time? Are SCVs being brought over? Yes, they are. And there it is, being brought over all together. A critical engagement, as we can see that the mules are now trying to run back up onto the high ground. Those are going to be some resources lost significantly. No, they're going to be mining away instead. And MMA handles the harassment very well, as we now see some SCVs battling it up. Looks like that Marine will be jumping inside that bunker, and the harvester count 32 to 30, MMA, what was that? MMA did end up losing 2 workers, but that was it. 1 SCV as it was building a barracks, and another one just now. And this is still looking very good for MMA, as MMA now looks to the future and tries to figure out what's going to be happening next. There goes another Zergling there. We are now tied in terms of workers. Still a significant resource advantage for the Terran player, but drones are being trained up in a hurry. Meanwhile, a Hellbat drop looking to come into play, and this is going to be a very effective Hellbat drop, as the starport is going to have a reactor to use. Somehow during all this time, MMA was able to harvest enough gas to double train Medivacs. He already is getting Hellbats, and a 2-part Hellbat drop is going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Now, I did hear that they were thinking about nerfing Hellbats. I can't tell if they in fact nerfed them just a bit. As we can see, 4 Hellbats are ready to go. What is going to be happening next? Back over here, Stim now being researched. Adding on another reactor, that means a barracks will be placed right there, as we are going into our 3rd orbital command. Zerglings surrounding and taking down a scouting SCV, unable to scout out if an expansion has been placed down. So far though, a 2nd bunker now coming in, making sure to reinforce if there is a Baneling bust on the front. Overlord now doing a bit of scouting over here. Wow, very, very small window to actually keep track of all of that there on the edge of the map, as the Overlord now looking to suicide in. Here we go. There are those Hellbats now ready to drop up straight inside, and it looks like they are going to be doing so much damage. All right, the Hellbats, how many workers have they killed? Already killed 2, looking to do even more. You can see that picking up a low hit point Hellbat, and then it does get taken down there. There are now 3 as the 2nd Medivac finally shows back up. Not quite sure what it was doing. Is it going to pick up another one? Yes, it will, as the Zerglings are now going to try and challenge this. All right, 1 Medivac, very, very low on hit points. Are we going to drop up straight inside the mineral line again? Yes, we are. And the Hellbats are just going to town, killing a good number of Zerglings, but really not that many workers, as we are going to be dropping over here again. There is a Spine Crawler now coming in. Medivac now trying to get healed back up. Is it going to be picked up? Yes, it will. And these units will be heading back home. Some economic damage done, but more importantly, forcing more Zerglings and more units to be trained to deal with those Hellbats. As you can take a look at the size of the army, 33 Zerglings instead of a lot more drones. A 14 worker advantage. Overlord will get shot down here. There it goes. Another Overlord could get taken down. Hunt for red Overlords already underway. This Overlord doesn't really stand much of a chance, as the Viking now making its way and going to be catching up to that Overlord pretty easily. So just a little bit of shoot and scoot, as the Viking apparently doesn't mind getting hit with missiles. All right, Life's income is still significantly behind. Meanwhile, let's take a look at MMA repairing all of these Medivacs. Not quite sure why it didn't repair this one as well. Also, the Medivacs, the energy regeneration is not that fast, and they are rather low on energy, sitting at 25 and 30 each. You can see another Viking, or this Viking, still on the hunt for more Overlords. As you can see, Overlords just positioned all across the map. All right, Marines, Marauders, Widow Mines are in position. A 20 supply advantage. Zerglings trying to take down a couple of free Marines, ends up losing more Zerglings than he was hoping for, and still now looking to pull back. All right, Life here trying to get back into the game. He is going into a Spire Tech, really trying to go into air, but I don't believe that's going to work. The sheer amount of Marines in play, coupled with the fact we are already going into 1-1 upgrades with Combat Shield, means that the Marines will handle any number of Mutalisks that come out. So far, this base has yet to be established. Either one Marine may just try to sit underneath there, shoot down some Overlords, as we can see a Viking in position. Zerglings now looking to test the waters again, as the Marines unable to catch up to all of those Zerglings there, but there was a bunker beautifully placed down, as the Marines doing a little bit of stutter stepping, getting a couple more Zergling shots. Life has not really been able to do very much of anything, as we can see that there is Currently, a couple of drones are sitting off over here, not quite sure what they're doing. The Marine just playing a little bit of target practice, and looks like it may be able to finish off that. Nope, is not going to be able to finish it off at all. There is the new drone now making its way in. It will get perhaps shooed away or taken down. There it goes, as finally some Zerglings will make their way over. Marines continuing their push. Banelings do have their movement speed upgrade finally. There's a changeling now being dropped down here on Neoplanet S, but so far everything has gone in favor of MMA. After that initial opening, Life's Gambit really didn't pay off that well, and now these 1-1 upgraded Marines, and now with 2-2 upgrades on the way, are looking to finish off this 12 o'clock expansion. Banelings now making their way in. A beautiful Baneling hit takes down all those units. Widowmine actually getting some friendly fire as well, as the Hellbat is just running on in here, trying to take down some drones. It doesn't look like it's dealing that much damage. No, only 16 damage, as there's a drop inside the natural. So far, drops in the natural, drops at the third, really splitting the forces. Mutalisk now trying to clean up the drops. And yes, Mutalisks do clean up drops, but once those Marines are just down and on the ground, those Mutalisks are not very effective at all, as those Banelings, unable to get a hit onto any of those Marines. There you have it. Marines, Thor now being thrown into the mix. High impact payload, damage all being dealt. We can see that the medevacs are off on the side here. Couple of Widow Mines in position to perhaps shoot down a handful of Mutalisks if they happen to fly by in the wrong location. MMA coming over with a large group of Marines and one Thor to make sure that those Mutalisks are going to be forced to magic box. And here you go. There's the engagement. The Banelings are there. And are the Banelings going to try and engage and hit down all of those Marines? It looks as though, what are we going to be seeing here? Yes, some Javelin missiles now being brought over. Medevac using that Thor ship. Going to drop the Thor straight in the battle, dealing tons of damage. And now being picked up and losing the Thor. All right, a little bit of a miscalculation there. MMA losing a lot of his units, but a new round of Marines now ready to go. We are going to be going into 2-2 upgrades for the Zerglings. Meanwhile, the Marines are already there, as the Widow Mine's going to be hitting some key shots and also getting taken down. Fourth base now established. Both sides running on 4 bases. Units lost. Only 3,000 resources lost between these two, or difference between these two players. About 16,000 total lost in general, and that's because the number of units we've been seeing have mainly been Zerglings and Marines. Very, very small, cost-effective units, even though we have seen a lot of death on the field. It hasn't been in terms of those high, expensive units. All right, Widowmine now looking to burrow itself in. Overlords may activate another Widowmine there. There's a huge hit, as the Mutalisks looking to finish off this Widowmine here. Overlord's getting shooed away. All right, a Mutalisk going to get shot down right as it is in transit, as the medevac now going to be dropping inside the natural again. Here you go. Marines are ready to go. One Marine apparently getting the memo that it should be shooting at the Zerg, as the Mutalisks are now trying to clean back up on the far side here. One medevac down, another Widow Mine down, but the damage is being dealt. A 40 supply difference, as the battle is still raging on. And so far, Life is holding on to this ever so barely. And will he be able to finish this? So far, we are looking at the Mutalisks now making their way in the chase after these Marines. It looks as though a couple of them will get taken down. Marines now trying to fire back, will be able to finish them off here. But a large force now coming in from the bottom side. We are going to see, oh yes, burrowing there. And this hatchery will fall without much of a challenge. Marines just pulling away with the rest of the units. And there's the GG. Life realizing that his opponent had this extra base, or I believe he knew that his opponent had that extra base. No, didn't even know about it. Perhaps just assumed, lost another hatchery here, and knew that he was just too far behind. Yes, he could have prolonged the battle a little bit longer. Yes, he still has a decent-sized army, but the army and the just sheer mass production of MMA is what kept him in this game, as we are now all tied up at 1 game apiece. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2. Please stay tuned for Game 3.